The Temple of Time is one of my favorite dungeons of the game, and really the dungeons are the best part of Twilight Princess. The graphics are really good too. After spending an hour or so failing at the snowboarding challenge, I'm no longer inclined to say the controls are also good. I don't know, maybe they spent more time focusing on the controls with the Wii version. After all, this game was a launch title for the Wii. And now, Minna is going to talk about the main storyline. No, wait. She's talking about the premise of the dungeon, but I can talk about the storyline. I don't think the storyline in this game is very good. It's an okay storyline, yeah, but it feels more like the storyline for the Super Nintendo Zelda game than a storyline you'd see in a Wii game. But other than that, I like the storyline. I'm just saying it's way too bare bones considering how large the game is. And Minna was explaining the premise of the dungeon, which is the reason why I like this dungeon. The premise is that we need to find a statue. So this dungeon is shaped like a tower. It's an 8-story tower. We have to bop, 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 bop to the top, slip and slide and ride that rhythm. Then we have to go all the way back down. And this is Uku, the human chicken. The ancient human chicken. I don't know, I just find it funny that everybody in Hyrule is descended from Groose and the human chickens. We'll learn more about them in the next video, but I still think it's a hilarious premise. And speaking of premises, I think I did a bad job explaining the premise of the dungeon. It's an 8-story tower, so what we're going to do is go all the way up to the top floor, and then we're going to go all the way back down here, and that will be the end of the dungeon. I like that premise. It works. It's cool. It's interesting. We visit every room twice. It's sort of like the previous dungeon where we visited every room twice, but, you know, the first time we visited every room, we visited them on the first floor. Second time, we visited them on the second floor. So that was also very well done and interesting. Yes, you were revisiting rooms, but it's interesting. They change. I don't know. I'm just trying to say I like it. And let me just stop blathering about that and get back to the actual commentary. In room number 1, I put a pot on a switch. In this room, I'm also putting a pot on a switch. We're going to be putting lots of pots on switches in this dungeon. Also, in the first room, I lit 2 torches for a small key, which let me get through the door. So, that treasure chest gave me arrows. That is your clue that you can use arrows. They don't appear very effective on spiders. Are they effective on pots? Yes, they are. Use an arrow on the pot. You could also use a bomb, but arrows are recommended. Use an arrow on the pot to destroy it, and get all the way up over here. In this room, you can destroy all of the enemies in order to get the dungeon map. That went well. Okay, so this enemy here is called an Armos statue. What you want to do is hit it from behind. It's got a crystal on the back. Yeah, not that difficult of an enemy. The recommended strategy for destroying that enemy is to use bombs, but since the enemy jumps around a lot, it's not exactly the most useful. Oh, what the? Bats! 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 I'm trying to pick up the pot to put it on the switch here. Mean bats. Trying to aim myself perfectly there, because if you mess up with your aiming, then, you know, the switch is not pressed down. And if you look at the dungeon map, you'll see that I was correct. The dungeon is basically just a giant tower. Alrighty, so what you're supposed to do is put 2 pots or 2 weights on the switches, and yep, I screwed up with my angling there. Oh well. It's slightly easier to use the weights because the weights are larger. But, you know, the weights are heavier, so it's harder to move around while holding them. So in this room, I'm just gonna kind of ignore the enemies here. We've got 4 Lizalfo enemies, just like the previous room, and yeah, I'm not gonna fight them. I'm just gonna go up here. Over here, we have a puzzle. What you want to do is grab this weight, and you want to follow along this track. You'll notice there are spinners on the track, so be careful, they could hurt you. So you grab a weight and put it there. Next, you're going to go over to the lever. Oh! Ooh, ooh, ow. Lever thing over here. If you push it clockwise, it goes up. If you push it counterclockwise, it goes down. So push it counterclockwise and the platform goes down to weight number 2. Also, it goes down to the area with lots and lots of spiders. Gross. 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 Eventually we'll come back and destroy the spiders. That's for when we go down through this area. I mean, you can destroy them all now, but, you know, when we go here the second time is when you really need to destroy them. So, put the 2 weights on the switches, hurry over to this, and you're lifted up over here. And this is the southern room. This southern room is pretty simple. You need to destroy 2 Armos statues, and then you'll get a small key. Now, as I was trying to say earlier, I believe I got cut off. The recommended strategy is to use bombs, but since they jump around a lot, bombs are not the most effective. It's more effective to do what I did, just, you know, roll around them and hit them from behind. We're gonna fight more Armos statues later on, and then you'll see that it doesn't always work. Whatever, I just got myself a small key and a giant chest. Whoever is buying these giant chests for these tiny items really needs to rethink their purchasing strategy. I mean, how much money is wasted on those chests? Lots of money, I imagine. Just get a key ring, hang it on a hook near the door of the dungeon. That would make things so much simpler. Ooh, and this is a cool room. See, we've got a switch here, one of those switches. We haven't actually seen this in this game yet. You see this in a lot of Zelda games. It's a switch you can hit with your sword or your bow and arrow, or some other weapon, and it affects the room. So in this case, whenever you hit the switch, the walls are going to change. You will need to hit the switch 3 times to get through this area. Over here in this little alcove, we have the compass. So you'll notice they have circles on the floor to indicate where you should stand in order to hit the switch. That's useful. That's very useful. If you have the Hawkeye weapon, that is also useful. You can, you know, hit the switch from a distance. And here, I had a hard time using the mortal draw on the enemy. It worked in the end, but you know, he got in 2 hits before I used my technique. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Ow. Really? Yeah, let's just forget it. This room has 4 Lizalfo enemies. Gee, where have I seen that before? And more switches. These switches are actually connected to the switches in the previous room, although it's not obvious at this point. Okay, mortal draw. Really? Mortal Draw is kind of useless for such a useful I mean, not useful item, useful technique. And here we have a Lizalfos with armor, so it's kind of hard to fight that particular enemy simply because it's wearing armor, so it will use its shield to defend your attacks. The thrust technique, where you just shove your sword right in front, appears to be most effective. Walking into electrical walls, not effective, not effective at all. And here you'll notice it's blocking my attacks. So the best thing to do here is maybe wait for it to attack and then counterattack. There we go. Once you get one hit in, it's pretty easy to get other hits in. And yeah, that's basically it for the room. You hit the switch a couple of times, you fight all the enemies, and then you just leave. I'm gonna go farming for hearts here. I'm sort of near the end of the dungeon. Well, not the end of the dungeon, but I'm sort of near the top of the dungeon where we have a mini-boss battle. So I'll farm for hearts from here on out. This room, I'm just gonna ignore all the spiders and go upstairs. So this is a scales puzzle. We have weights, and 2 weights equals 1 link. So what you want to do is grab 2 weights. I mean, grab a weight, and you want 2 weights on the other side. And now you can just walk all the way across to the exit. I'm going to make a minor diversion here by hitting this claw shot target. Huh. Well, maybe if I climb up on top of this thing. Okay, there we go. I have to say, this weights puzzle here really reminds me of the Tower of the Gods from Wind Waker. Actually, this entire dungeon reminds me of the Tower of Gods, and that's cool, because, you know, I like the Tower of the Gods. It was a good dungeon. And over here, we have a Poe. Okay, I'll turn into a wolf and kill the Poe. I'm sure some of you are wondering why I tend to cut out every single Poe battle. It's because I'm not very good at them, that's all. It takes me about 1.5 minutes to kill each Poe, and it just looks kind of bad. So, what I'm going to do now is go through this door, which is the main reason why you go up here to this area. And you don't have to do this now, you can do this when you're coming back, you know, when you're coming back down through the tower. You can save this for later. So in this room you have 3 enemies. You want to start out by killing the enemies. Ow, ooh, ouch, ow. Once you have the 2 Helmasaur enemies killed, you want to use the claw shot to get up here for the first time in forever. And obviously we have 4 switches. You want to put weights on switches. So 2 of the weights are right over here. The other 2 weights are going to be the Helmasaur helmets. And now we got 20 extra rupees. You'll notice I get 20 rupees from pretty much every treasure chest in this dungeon. You know, if I'm not getting a small key or an item, then yeah, it's 20 rupees. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Link. Don't go falling, bro. Where's the other helmet? Right here. Okay, so that opens the door downstairs. And now we have the big key. Very interesting. I think this is the only dungeon in the game where you can get the big key before getting the dungeon's item. And here I make the mistake of not killing all the enemies. Yeah, you do have to kill all the enemies before the exit door opens. Aw, man. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So now I'm trying to do the roll from the side thing, and it's just not working because I roll too far and miss the enemy. And there we go, got it on the backswing. Whew, well, that wasn't a very clean Armos fight, but I finished it. Alright, and now I'm just going to run over here to the exit. Now, you don't have to get the dungeon key at this point in the game. You could easily just go across the scales and go straight to the exit. You know, whatever floats your boat. This room, you have a lot of spinny thingies, and they're just there to annoy you. Ow! I imagine you're supposed to time your way through the room so you don't get hurt by spinny thingies. And this room has 4 Lizalfo enemies. Gee, I wonder where they thought of that idea. I'm gonna make things easier on myself and just kill these enemies right here at the very beginning. So this room has a bunch of traps. And I'm not doing well with those traps. Oh dear. Well, you want to go through the traps over here to get a small key. And again, trying to get some hearts from these jars here. I'm attacking the wall for some reason. I don't know. So, ouch. With the big pendulum trap, what you want to do is just go past when it's not swinging. With these rolling bar traps, what you want to do is go to the wall, because those bars don't go all the way to the wall, they leave room for Link to stand in. So that's how you avoid those traps. Very, very simple. I like those traps. It kind of reminds me of the Prince of Persia game. We'll see that in the, final room of the dungeon. And here, in this room, what you want to do is kill those Armos statues. Good, that went better than the last Armos fight. Come on. There. Now there are lots of pots in this room, so hopefully they'll give me some hearts. Ow, spiders. The spiders in this room mostly ignore you for some reason. I'm not sure why. In other rooms of the dungeon, they go straight towards you. And this is the mini-boss battle. This is it right here. So again, let me farm for hearts. I need as many hearts as possible, because this is a tough battle. Now, believe it or not, the first time I tried recording this video, I saved my game right here, right before the mini-boss battle. And when I restarted the game, it started me back at the bottom of the dungeon. So I had to go all the way back up to the top, redo the past 18 minutes in order to reach the boss battle again. It was not good. No, it wasn't. So, lesson learned. What you want to do, if you're low on health before this mini-boss, use Uku. Warp out of the dungeon, then get health, and then use her to warp back in. This is a statue we've been looking for. The brilliant statue we've been looking for, and this is the mini-boss. This is an Iron Knight. You might recognize it from other Zelda games. Notice it's heavily armored, just like the Lizalfos we had earlier. It's got the shield, so it will block all of your attacks. And my Iron Knight... not Iron Knight. Iron Knuckle is the name of the enemy. My Iron Knuckle fight did not go well, so I substituted footage of the Iron Knight fight from my practice run. So what you're supposed to do is wait for it to swing, sort of like that. When it overswings, it has a vulnerability period of a few seconds. You can get in about 3 hits. Maybe 4 if you're lucky. Spinning around doesn't work because it uses its shield to defend against you. Even if you hit, like, the back of his body, somehow that counts as a block. I mean, did you see those hits? How is the shield blocking it? Link, just swing for the arm that's holding the shield. So yeah, two basic strategies. The spin around to hit it from behind, or just let it overswing and then attack the arm that's holding the weapon. And when you're at this point, you know, towards the end, you can do the helm splitter attack, if you know that one. So that is also effective. For the second half, the battle is mostly the same because it uses its sword to block an insane amount of hits. Ooh, there we go. Looks like the jump attack move just puts it off its guard for a minor second. Do another jump attack, Link! That jump attack didn't work. I wonder if you could use, like, bomb arrows to attack this enemy. Like in Wind Waker, ice arrows were very effective. It doesn't matter. Enemy is pretty easily defeated. Only took me about 2 minutes to defeat the enemy, and in my other run it took me 3 to 4 minutes, so it was definitely a lot faster here. Okay, so defeating the Iron Knuckle gives you the item of the dungeon. It's the Dominion Rod! It can turn statues to life. And this is the other thing that makes this dungeon seem like the temple, the Tower of the Gods from Wind Waker. You're gonna have a big statue buddy that you'll be moving. This big statue, which is going back to the main room of the first room of the dungeon. So it moves in every direction you go. So if you go left, it goes left. If you go right, it goes right. If there's something blocking the way, then it will get stuck, and then you'll just be very sad. So over here is a giant bell. You want to lead the statue to the bell. It's sort of a transportation bell. It just transports the statue to the next room. And if you look at your map in the lower left-hand corner, we can't see the map right now, but if you look at the map, you'll notice that, hey, you've got a red dot indicating where the statue is. I don't know if I mentioned this in the previous dungeon, but you also get little red dots indicating where the cannonballs are. So that's useful. And if you want the statue to use its axe, just swing the Dominion Rod. It's very useful for killing those evil spiders. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get the statue on this platform. I like throwing that thing. It's cute. It's great. So you step on the switch, then you move forward, and that's how you get the statue buddy out of the area. You can try to put a pot down, but the spiders will destroy the pots. Okay, here, get statue buddy on the switch. That gets rid of the electricity. And here, use statue buddy to get through all of the traps. Because these spiky rolling logs just can't handle statue buddy's awesomeness. Let me get on the other side of statue buddy here. I like having statue buddy. It's cool, it's neat. And here's statue buddy. You can just make mincemeat of those enemies. I actually haven't mentioned those enemies. Yeah, those enemies with the Beamos enemies. They shoot laser beams. Let me try to guide statue buddy over here to the exit. Not really the exit, the transportation bell exit. And now what you want to do is use the Dominion Rod on these smaller statues. You can also control them as well. You lead that to the switch, so statue buddy is put upwards. very simple, you know, the first two rooms with Statue Buddy are pretty simple just to get you an idea of how it works. Now for this room. Ooh, okay, so this is kind of a pain here. What you want to do is get Statue Buddy on the scales. So Statue Buddy is worth 5 weights. So you get Statue Buddy on one pan of the scales, and then you get 5 weights on the other pan in order to make them level. And throwing this here is not working very well. What you need to do is throw from a pretty exact angle. So let me move Statue Buddy out of the way. If you're too close, you can't throw a weight from one pan to the other. You want to be in this inner circle, be in the inner circle in order to be able to throw the weight successfully. And here are 3 more weights. You have 3 more weights. There's also a weight in an upper corner of the room. If you need an extra weight, you just claw shot to it. But what you want to do is grab all 3 weights here, and then use those to balance the scales. You could also use Link's weight, because Link is worth two weights, I believe. But you'll notice this doesn't work because the scales are uneven. Statue Buddy is stuck over here in the middle. You know what? I think I might have to take back what I said earlier. I think it's just 4 weights equal 1 Statue Buddy, not 5. Well, then why are there 6 weights in this room? 4 for Statue Buddy, 2 for Link, in case you get yourself really, really stuck? I guess that's it. Now, earlier I mentioned my practice run. What I did in my practice run was I got Statue Buddy across the scales, and then I went to go get the boss key, you know, from the top of this room by using the spinner. And guess what? When I came back to this room, the puzzle reset itself. And so I had to lead Statue Buddy across the scales again. Yeah, so that's why in this run I got the big key first of all, you know, the first time through the room, not the second time. I didn't want the scales to reset. Here I'm just kind of ignoring the spiders. There's another treasure chest in this room, you know, I'm gonna ignore that too. And Statue Buddy time. This was the room with the switches and the arrows. Unfortunately, none of the enemies have returned. That is great. So first off, I'm moving Statue Buddy to the next area, because he has an open gate. Let's see, I don't think I can hit the switch from that angle. I will have to stand inside the circle. Now we're changing the gate so Link can get through. And you might have noticed there's a switch on the floor. We're going to move Statue Buddy onto the switch. That gets rid of the electricity. Now Link can go over here for a piece of heart. Woohoo! Ooh, only 1 more, and there are 2 pieces of heart in every dungeon, so you know we're going to have a full heart container by the time we reach the boss. I am so not good at aiming. First-person aiming is not my friend. The claw shot, the arrows, it's just... yeah... I don't know, I guess I don't play enough first-person shooters. And by first-person shooters, I mean I never play first-person shooters. I played the Metroid Prime 3 once, and that was basically it for me. And like I said earlier, the switches in the 2 rooms are connected. It's obvious right here, because you have to hit this switch a final time. Otherwise, when you go to the next room, you'll be stuck. And if you've seen my video walkthrough for Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, or even Ocarina of Time, you'll notice I could not do any of the shooting challenges in that game either. I kind of skipped over them. You know, the archery target ranges where you can get a bigger quiver, and I think you could get a piece of heart. I'm not sure. The one, isn't there like the one in the swamp, which was strange and stuff? Whatever. Hit the switch from here. And now just move Statue Buddy over here. Over to the bell. Can I go inside the bell? No. Notice how Link gets shoved aside as the bell falls down. That's cute. Alrighty, so next room. So Statue Buddy is on this level. What you'll want to do is grab Statue Buddy and take him all the way down to the area with spiders, but first I'm going to redo the puzzle with the switches. That is the puzzle which leads to the southern room here. This time the room is filled with spiders, and you might want to fight the spiders. I don't want to fight spiders. Spiders are gross and yucky. So what you want to do is grab one of these weights and throw it over on this side. Now you can use the Dominion Rod to take that weight over down to a switch. Oh, also we can get 20 rupees here from this treasure chest. Nice. I wonder if I'm gonna hit my limit of 1,000 rupees. Maybe I will. So then you want to take this weight and move it down on the switch. You don't have to throw a weight into that area. The weight automatically starts there. And this gives us the other piece of heart. Woohoo! Yay! Alright. Now just back to this main room over here. Like I said, Statue Buddy is on the next floor, so we're going to push the spinning thing clockwise. Clockwise is up, counterclockwise is down. Right. Okay, now he's over here, and we're gonna move it. Well, we're going to move it clockwise twice, counterclockwise twice. Sorry, I keep forgetting the difference between clockwise and counterclockwise. On the bottom floor of the area. We're in the fenced-in area with a bunch of spiders. What you want to do... Ow! Wait. What you want to do... See, he can hurt you. Statue Buddy can hurt you if you're in front of him. What you want to do is destroy all of the spiders. Statue Buddy is most effective here. The spiders drop a lot of arrows, but arrows are not the most effective. The claw shot is actually effective. One claw shot hit kills a spider. But Statue Buddy's doing really well. Statue Buddy has, I guess, shockwaves coming off of its megaton hammer. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna call this weapon Statue Buddy's holding. A megaton hammer. And here, let me just mop up these final spiders. Yeah, not too easy to get the spiders with your sword, just because the spiders are ignoring you. And here what you're supposed to do is simply take the Statue Buddy over to the exit bell. I believe there's a Poe here. Maybe it's behind this statue. Oh! Okay, no, definitely not what I was thinking of. Okay, come on, statue buddy, kill these enemies for me. Good, good. And here is the Poe. This is where the Poe is located. So quickly, let me just cut to when I've finished fighting the Poe. After defeating the Poe, just move Statue Buddy to the exit. You will have to destroy the gate with Statue Buddy's hammer. Really? What? Why wasn't the enemy sucked into the teleportation bell? That was strange looking. Whatever. We're basically at the end of this dungeon here. Okay, we've still got 8 minutes left, but we're mostly done with it. So here you're kind of stuck. What you have to do is use the claw shot to get out of here. There we go. Where is Statue Buddy? There he is. There he is. Ooh, I wonder if I can kill those Armo statues. Not gonna find out. We're just leaving here. It's not always easy, you know, if you're too far away from Statue Buddy and it lags behind, it's not always easy to get it go down the stairs. Because you'll notice I was trying to take a left-hand turn when Statue Buddy could not, and so it just got stuck in the corner. I like how I just pushed the spider aside. It's like, I don't have time to fight you, spider. Just go out of the way. And yeah, that's it. We're back here on the first floor of the dungeon. Hooray for us. We just defeated all the monsters, and let me see if I can get some hearts here. I know we have a boss battle going up. So that was me failing at doing the spin attack. I'm not good at the spin attack either, it looks like. Oh well. Statue Buddy is going to go on its pedestal. And yep, this opens the door to the boss room. Well, it doesn't entirely open the door to the boss room. We have one more room, the Prince of Persia room, with all sorts of spinners and spiky logs and pendulums. What you want to do is just avoid all these enemies. Walking along the side of the room works just well. You can be cool and, you know, walk through the middle of the room. That looks really amazing, but it's dangerous. So once you're done, move a weight onto the switch. Then you're gonna move the weight off the switch. Oh, come on, you can do it. You can. Link would not make a good lacrosse player. He is just not good at this. And there we go. Okay, move it off of the switch in order to open up this area. I need some hearts. Get out of the way, spiders. Heart. There we go. Okay, I'm at full health. So the weapons you're going to need are, you know, the bow and arrow and the Dominion Rod. That's what you're going to need for this boss battle. I might have made a few mistakes here and there throughout the dungeon, but this boss battle was very, very good. I'm proud of this. You know, if there's one thing I can be proud of in this video, it's the boss battle didn't take me an additional 8 minutes like, well, say the mini-boss, which took me a lot longer than it should have. So, Eyeball Spider. Eyeballs seem to be a recurring theme with bosses in this game, right? We had more feel with the eyeball, and now we've got Armogoma, which is like a Goma spider mixed with an Armo statue. what you want to do is use your bow and arrow to hit the eyeball. Then use the Dominion Rod on the statue and swing your rod to hit Armagoma. Very, very simple. Now here, you just want to sit and wait because Armagoma's going to do something. Just like Goma bosses in other Zelda games, it's going to spit out a bunch of babies. The babies will run and attack you, so what you want to do is kill all the babies. Now, why do you want to run and kill all the babies? Well, they're going to hit you when you're trying to use your bow and arrow, and then, you know, that's going to cancel your bow and arrow. And here, now Armagoma has laser beams coming out of her eye. You didn't get to really see it then because I managed to hit Armagoma's eye with the bow and arrow. But yeah, there's a laser beam which goes all the way across the room. It crisscrosses the room and tries to hit you. And it also cancels your bow and arrow. So what usually happens is you'll be trying to shoot your bow and arrow at the eye and you'll either get hit by one of the babies or by the laser beam. And the easiest way to kill those spider babies is kill them all their eggs, you know, before they hatch. Ow, ow. See, that's what I mean by the spider babies canceling the bow and arrow. And yeah. Like I said, this was a great boss battle. I managed to, I hit Armagoma so quickly I only got to see the laser thing once for a few seconds. And Link shows emotion. Yes! This time he doesn't desperately try to show emotion, he shows actual emotion. Because this is weird. And you'll notice you can't L-target the eyeball creature, because if you could, then you would easily shoot it with an arrow and finish this phase of the boss battle. It's still a very easy phase. What you want to do is run and hit the eyeball spider. Either use your sword or some other weapon. Three of the mirror shards are ours! There's only one left! Yeah, we're getting surprisingly close to the end of the game. We've got 3 dungeons remaining. You know, 1 dungeon for the final mirror shard, 1 dungeon to defeat Zant, and 1 dungeon to save Princess Zelda. Minda warns us that we could be creating something awful here by making the Mirror of Twilight. Yeah, that's a good point, Midna. Let's hope this doesn't lead to our doom. Ah, whatever. As long as I get my heart containers, I will be happy.